from others. An audio medium unlike anything you've ever heard before. The pinnacle of sound experience. Jacked and Canned. Featuring John Tessman and Colby Tyler. A place where you will get the information you crave and hear about the topics that you love. Presented by themselves. Coming to you from the basement, bar, and the bedroom. Sponsored by no one. Jacked and Canned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sports Roundtable of Jacked and Canned. John, how are we doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Hey, lots of sports content to talk about, but make sure you check out the Jacked and Canned show because the Roundtable, we might only barely mention some of the topics. So make sure you check out the next one because that's where we're going to go in depth. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you know that I take over the first part of this show. So who's on top, Colbs?
Who's on top?
MLB standings, AL East, we got the Yankees on top over there, 34-15. The Tampa Bay Rays, 28-20. Woo! The Red Sox were hot for a little while. They're sitting number 4 behind the Blue Jays, 23-26. They kind of fell off there. AL Central, Twins sitting on top, followed by the White Sox. AL West, this makes me a little angry. The Astros sitting on top at 31-18. But the Angels were looking so damn good. And this happens every single year to the Angels. They're 27-23 right now, but last 10 games, 3-7. And they are getting decimated currently by the Yankees.
Now,
they lit up
John,
Syndergaard
this isn't
tonight.
just me, right? Pretty much everybody that is a baseball fan wants the Astros to fail, right? Outside of Houston.
You know, pretty much because of what happened a couple of seasons ago. But my reason's a little bit different. They were a National League team before, just a few years back, and then they came over to the American League, and it just mixed everything up, and I'm just not used to it. I was still used to seeing the Athletics and the Rangers and the Angels keeping it competitive, and I'm like, the Astros were terrible in the National League. Now they're in the American League, and they're good. It's like a completely different team. They shouldn't have kept the name.
Yeah,
so
what's their little guy's name? The guy that's like my height?
Craig Biggio.
No.
Jose Altuve.
Yeah, that one. I was going to say, John, you just went back 20 years in the time.
Well, you said who was. I thought you said who was. I'm like,
no. No, I just know that Altuve is not much bigger than I am. He's got like an inch or two on me. That's it, which, to me, it just pisses me off. I'm like, I don't understand how I can't be better at softball if this MFer can come out here and just hit homers left and right in the MLB.
Yeah, literally launching dingers and playing at a super high level. But, hey, whatever. That's all I got to say about that, man. The Astros, I'm not a fan. Come on, Angels. Pull it together. NL East, Colbs, this makes me very happy. Who's on top?
I have a feeling it will continue to for a very long time, John. It doesn't seem like this lead is changing.
Ooh, okay. All right, because I know every year, too, same thing.
Oh, no, it will at the All-Star break. Don't worry. The collapse is coming.
All right. Well, to be seen, because I'm very interested. They have been hit with the injury bug in their pitching rotation a little bit, which is a little concerning. But the New York
63
Mets,
straight.
New York Mets are sitting on top over there in the NL East at 33-17, one of the best records in all of baseball. Last 10 games, 7-3. And Colbs, their division is just quite awful. We got the Braves sitting at 23-26. The Phillies, Joe Girardi making the headlines lately here that his job might be threatened. There was a statement that came out that he's not worried about it, and the organization is not looking at making any moves right now. But Colbs, if you're the Phillies and you go out there and spend big money and you don't get results and you're having a Los Angeles Lakers year, something has to happen in the Phillies, because the Philly fans ain't going to deal with losing. I'm sorry. They were winning for a little while. Season after season now, you got some big names.
That's
and
a
big money being spent.
Philadelphia thing, John. Anytime you're talking sports in Philadelphia, those guys are ruthless. Them and the Boston fans, they're probably the most aggressive fan bases that there are against their own teams. Although I will say, we got to see it live and in action. Jets fans. Oh,
Yeah, they were brutal. Even in the Yankees, when A-Rod was playing for him, I've never heard a stadium so loud with boos before, and it was coming from Yankees fans. So, anyhow, NL Central Brewers sitting on top, followed by the Cardinals. That one gets me excited, obviously, because of Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina are still playing.
I heard
Last
that
10
Pujols
games,
is ripping some homers.
dude, all I'm saying is let him play every day.
Good
I
for
just kind
him,
of want
huh?
to see it. If you're the Cardinals organization, just let Yachty and Pujols play. Bring it back to the old days. Why not? NL West, Dodgers sitting on top. Awesome freaking record at 33-15. Last 10 games, 7-3.
About the same
The
as the
sneaky,
Yankees.
hey, the sneaky Padres coming up there at 30-18. And then we got the Giants at 26-21. Last 10 games, 4-6. So maybe the time for the Giants to kind of scale back a little bit, but you can't count those
Just
suckers
give it a little bit, John. It's a long season.
out.
They'll be
That
there
is
to
so
annoy us and piss us off.
that is so true that it scares me because everybody knows the Giants will somehow end up being in this. Colbs, going over to the Stanley Cup playoffs for all you
Yes.
non-hockey
Yes.
fans. That is the NHL. So we have the teams that are going
John,
to
this
be
is an
facing,
exciting ass conference championship on both ends.
and this has me very excited. Colbs can guess why. One of the teams that I've been rooting for is in it, and who would that be, Colbs?
That's going to be the Rangers. And God, I feel so bad on this one because Zach is such a Rangers fan. Zach from Breaking Down the Tape. And, you know, I talk to him every day at some point for the most part. And he's a very dear friend of mine. And I want to get on his side, but at the same time, I have my affiliations with Tampa. I can't do it. And then additionally, I know that Tampa's going to run them. Like, I know this is not going to be a close series. Tampa's going to win this at best. The Rangers push it to 6. I don't think it's going to go that far.
Colbs, well, I do have 25-cent bet on them or 50-cent bet, and I'm going to win 20-something bucks. So Rangers, please get it done for me. I need that 20-something bucks. I really do.
Hey, if they get through Tampa, I'll root for them in the Cup final. Granted, I think the winner of the Western Conference there, I think the Colorado and Edmonton both are better than the Rangers also. I think the Rangers are the worst remaining team.
Fair enough. They're going to have a tough matchup over there with Tampa because they just seem to dominate everybody every single year. It doesn't matter who the hell you are. So I'm just sick of Tampa. They're kind of the Golden State for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, they have been. For me, I get away with it just because I can say, hey, I grew up down there.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a place that I've always put my second fanship. That I grew up a Lightning fan. I did. And then I switched over when I moved up here. A couple years after I moved up here, I became a Bruins fan. And so I always push for them. But Tampa is always there, and Tampa's been lighting it up. So, you know, I mean, yeah, I would prefer that Boston be there. And this year specifically, I was really hoping that the Panthers were going to do it just because, honestly, it's a Le Batard show thing. I really just wanted it for those guys. But I will absolutely be rooting Tampa the rest of the way, although both those teams in the West are exciting as hell.
It's good playoff hockey. It's the teams remaining are the ones that I would like to see, with the exception of not having the Brewers in there, the Bruins in there. Because
no, I'm with you.
That just throws me off a little bit. But Colbs, NBA, we're going to talk more about this on the Jacked and Can show, so make sure that you stick around. But I do want to make mention that the Celtics prevailed. They ended up winning. It's going to be Celtics and Warriors in the NBA Finals. So make sure that you check out the Jacked and Can show for a complete in total conversation, particularly about Game 6 and 7.
So what I will break down for you guys is going to be the last half, essentially, of the Heat Celtics series, and we will talk going forward as to what that means for the NBA Finals and what that means for the Miami Heat going forward. I have all that written out. I have it all sculpted, waiting to go, but we're not going to talk about it here because, honestly, we don't have the time. So, John, is that going to conclude who's on top?
Brother, that is done. I'm not going to get you with AFL. I'm not going to get you with IFL. I'm not going to get you with this league. I'm not going to get you with that one today. I'm going to let it sit on those ones right there. Coles, what do you got for us?
All right. So first thing that I got for us here today is that the Lakers made a new coaching hire. As we know, they fired Frank Vogel not too long ago, right after the season ended. And they have now hired the Milwaukee Bucks assistant coach, Darvin Ham, as their next head coach. Now, from what I understand with this gentleman, and granted, I'm not incredibly familiar, even though I am pretty familiar with basketball, I would actually struggle by talking about coaches. I know that Spoelstra and Popovich are great. And I've noticed that, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name right now. The Celtics head coach did a great job this whole Eastern Conference Final series, and I'm totally blanking on his name. But it's okay. We're going to move on from that because the Lakers have hired their coach who is incredibly good at coaching the game of basketball.
Ime Udoka.
So,
Ime Udoka.
Yes, he has done a phenomenal job out there. And I have to say, I thought when Brad Stevens moved up to the front office that was going to actually be problematic. I was like, I thought this guy was a pretty damn good head coach. But it turns out that who they promoted into the spot equally as good, if not better. Like, I'm not kidding. That guy is really good at coaching a basketball team. Now, John, as we look to the Lakers with this guy is very good at coaching the game of basketball, but he keeps a little bit hands off on players. That frightens me, I'm going to be honest, because as much as I love my boy LeBron, you know this, I was wearing my LeBron Heat jersey for the last 2 games of that Heat Celtics series in hopes that the LeBron channel would get reached. And thus, I don't want LeBron to be the guy making player picks because I don't want more Russell Westbrooks, Carmelo Anthony's, and Dwight Howards. Like, I don't want all these guys in their mid to upper 30s that are all washed already. I want some young blood in there. I want LA to make some moves. And I don't see, like, we're already in a spot where I think as a Lakers fan, I don't think that we can make really a good roster happen over a course of this offseason. I think it has to be 2 off seasons. And LeBron's 37 years old. Like, I don't think that we're going to be able to get it done in time for him to still be playing at the level that he's playing. And that frightens me, and I hate it. So I wish that we had a coach that was a little bit more player involved personally, but I understand what the Lakers are doing here. They're saying, hey, we grab the guy that can coach the game of basketball. Whatever players we have, he will get the best out of all of them. So, you know what? Here we are. We're going to deal with it. And that's the life I'm going to live. So go Lakers.
Is there any sorts of rumors of what's happening over there? Now, I've been completely out of sync. So is Carmelo Anthony going to be returning? Is he planning on returning? I mean,
I have nothing on any of the players that are currently there right now. All I know is that we have this Russell Westbrook contract that's going to be impossible to move because the guy's worth $47 million next year, and there's nobody that's going to want to pay that. So I don't know how we can even configure getting rid of that contract. Like, hopefully, like something stupid like a Sacramento, like a team that's just never any good, will just take it on and ship us just some garbage that we can at least utilize if it's young. Like that's really the best hope we have because Westbrook doesn't fit in this system. There's talks of maybe being able to trade AD. And honestly, due to the fact that he's never healthy enough, I wouldn't be pissed if that was a move that we made. It's just about what we get in return. And I like if we're going to get nothing for AD, then I think we would get something. But if we got nothing for him, I wouldn't want to do it. Now, I think we would with him. With Westbrook, I don't know that we get anything. I think we might be able to move the money, but I don't think we get anything in return. That's the problem because nobody wants Westbrook on their roster. He's just, at this point of his career, like the man hustles more than anybody else in this league. Well, not anybody, because we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler coming up. But Russell Westbrook, that man plays. He plays his heart out every time he takes the court. Every time he leaves a piece of his soul on the court with him. And I love that about him, but his game doesn't fit in today's NBA and it doesn't fit with this Lakers roster. So it just doesn't work. And at $47 million a year, I don't think you're going to find a team that wants to take on that money, that contract to pay. So we're going to move along from that. John, Cam Chancellor wants to buy the Seahawks. Now, I don't know if you know who Cam Chancellor is.
Wait. Was he a defensive end, or am I way off?
You're off, but not way off. He was a safety, so he played on the defensive backfield. He was known as Bam Bam because Cam Chancellor delivered hits like nobody else in the modern era ever did. Now, Cam Chancellor, I love. And he also, as I told you a few weeks ago, John, is part owner of the Seattle Kraken. So now he wants to get in here and be part owner of the Seattle Seahawks, who currently don't have a full owner because Paul Allen unfortunately passed away. So the Seahawks are without really a full-blown owner. They're just kind of running on whatever their office is shaped out of. Cam Chancellor wants to be that guy, and I'm going to be honest, I love it. I love it. I don't know how Cam Chancellor can afford it, but if Cam Chancellor just hasn't spent a penny of his NFL money, hell, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how this money thing works. I don't have money like these guys do. But if Cam Chancellor can find a way to do it, I would love to see Cam Chancellor at every one of these football games, up in that press box, up in the owner's box, just down, looking down upon all the players. I am your king. Dude, Cam Chancellor deserves that. I don't know if you ever watch, clearly not too much because you thought he was a defensive end. But I'll have to show you some highlight films next time we get together of Cam Chancellor, because I swear his highlight film package, you think this dude's Ray Lewis. Like he played so hard, so tough, so physical. I loved Cam Chancellor, man, and I still do. And I'm already psyched that he's part owner of the Seattle Kraken. Oh, no, you know what? I take it back. I said all that. Marshawn Lynch did that. Cam Chancellor was just one of the guys I saw in a jersey at one of the games. I take it back. I just did all that wrong. But point of it being is that I would still love Cam Chancellor to be a Seahawk owner. I think that would be phenomenal for the Seahawks in the next step, because that's somebody that was part of our legendary Super Bowl roster, which might not be legendary to everybody, but it is for anybody that's a fan of the Seahawks. So, John, that makes me very excited. John, I'm going to be honest with you. As I told you going into this show, we're going to keep our roundtable short today because we have so much basketball talk to talk about from Game 6 and Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals that I don't actually want to take up any more time on this. I have 2 more things that I could talk about, but if I do, I don't know how long we end up talking about them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save them. And then if in the regular show we want to talk about them, we will. If not, then we don't. But today, we're going to have a shorter roundtable than we traditionally have, because I am going to talk about basketball nonstop for the next probably 25 to 30 minutes. So we're going to get off of this current roundtable, dive into the Jacked and Can show. I'm going to talk to you guys about Celtics Heat and about Celtics Warriors coming up. What I think about that matchup, what I think about what the Heat need to do in their offseason, what I think about where these teams lie and where they stand. John, is there anything you want to say to the audience before we get out of here?
Make sure to stick around for the Jacked and Can show coming up next.